The one thing I hear from people hesitant to build with Svelte is that it has a small ecosystem. Now, compared to other UI frameworks like React, Angular, or Vue, you can't help but admit that it does. And yes, we have the good old saying that the JavaScript ecosystem is the Svelte ecosystem. But let's be real, most people like to build around the framework that they are using. And when it comes to component UI libraries, they are one of the most important things for a dev when choosing a framework to work with. So today, I'm going to be showing you 18 UI component libraries built for Svelte or that works perfectly well with Svelte and SvelteKit. Now, the first one I'm going to be taking a look at is probably my favorite, and it's called MeltUI. Now, MeltUI is an open source Svelte library for building high quality, accessible design system and web apps. So let's take a look at the documentation. You see, we have the introduction page. We have so many builders. That is the approach it takes to creating components. We use these things called builders. So let's take a look at one component, which is the avatar. Click on the view code switch, and we see the code that is used to build that avatar. And we have so many more components or builders. We have the date field, the date picker, date range field, date range picker, the dialog. We have the drop down menu. We have the label. We have the link preview. We have the menu bar, pagination, pin input, so on and so forth. And the one downside to this Melt UI is that it gives you really low level API. As you can see, when creating this avatar, we really have to do a bit of work. And a lot of people don't like this. Personally, I don't mind. I feel like it gives me the freedom that I want. And that freedom comes at a bit of a cost. But some people don't actually like this approach. So if you don't like this approach, there is something called Bit UI, which is built on top of Melt UI and is meant to just fix that problem or that issue that some developers might have with Melt UI. So as you can see, a collection of headless components for Svelte built with Melt UI builders. So let's take a good example. Let's look at the avatar component as well. So as you can see, right now we just have the avatar.root, the avatar.image, avatar.fallback, and avatar.root to cover the whole thing up. And let's take a look at Melt UI avatar one more time. As you can see, we have this create avatar builder, and when we use that create avatar builder in this div right here. So as you can see, it's not really giving you components, it's giving you builders. While this bit UI takes care of that work of componentizing, is that a word? Componentizing those um builders and exposing them as just normal component that we devs are used to. And the third one we're taking a look at today is called Chassis and Svelte, which is a port of the super popular Chassis and UI to Svelte. Now, Chassis and Svelte is built on top of Bit UI, which is also built on top of Melt UI. So as you can see, some works are going on there. Now, Chassis and Svelte is built by Unterbyte and some other wonderful guys, and it's personally has been one of my favorite, if not my go-to UI component library because it gives me things like the theming and some the forms and some other cool stuff that I like, dark mode included. And if I click on the component section, we'll be taken to the component. As you can see, we have all of the components that we never need. We have the alerts dialog, aspect ratio, avatar, badge, button, card. It goes on and goes on and goes on. And you have pretty much everything that you would need to get up and running building your web apps with Svelte. The first one we're taking a look at is called Flowbyte Svelte. Now, Flowbyte is a very popular UI library. We have Flowbyte React, Flowbyte Angular, Flowbyte Vue, Flowbyte Danjo. It goes on and so forth. The one we'll be focusing on is Flowbyte Svelte, which is a component library built for Svelte. As you can see, we have the accordion, we have the alert, we have the avatar, the banner, the badge. It goes on, it goes, let's take a look, let's click on it here and would actually see a better overview of all the components that it offers. So as you can see, carousel, dark mode, drawer, drop down, footer, forms, we have gallery, indicator, list group, mega menu, modals. Like there's a lot of things here. We have the forms, it's filled up, we have the typography, that as well. We have examples, we have extends, we have utilities, and they also offer icons as well. So if you are having issues finding a great Svelte icon library, you can take a look at this. We have plugins as well. We have charts. We have a lot of things here. So this is a great UI library to start off with. you definitely need to check out Flow by Svelte. Another one is called AutoUI. Now, AutoUI is relatively new and it's built on top of Melt UI builders as well. So we can take a look at the components here and we see the Svelte part. We have the avatar. We can just click on the avatar button here. We have the avatar components here. Click on show code and you see this is the code that was written to create this component. So we import avatar from AutoUI and then we just use the avatar right here with the src or the text for a fallback. So as you can see, it doesn't have as much as the ones we've shown earlier. You have a few, we have combo bars, we have the dialogue, the drop down menu, radio group. But it's, as I said, relatively new and it's growing every single day. The next one we're taking a look at is called Svelte UI. Now, this one for me, I just found out about this one, and I have to say it's probably the most impressive one on this list here. It's just crazy. Create applications in less time than ever before, regardless of design experience. Svelte UI includes more than 50 customizable components. Check out the source code or read the documentation to get started. We'll be clicking on the get started button. Nice animation. So as you can see, SvelteKit and SSR are compatible. TypeScript and type definition are supported. All components are accessible through the blah blah blah. Dark theme included. Highly customizable. We like to see this highly customizable parts. And as you can see, the packages, the SvelteUI core, SvelteUI core, composables, SvelteUI motion, so on and so forth. So let's look at the sidebar. We have the SpellUI dates, which is a lot of people don't seem to find this easy. They don't seem to find dates components for Svelte. These are SpellUI dates. We have SpellUI motions for some transitions. We have some actions. So we have the use clipboard, we have the use CSS variable, use download, we have the use focus, use hotkey, use IO, use lazy, use scroll lock, use lock scroll. I mean, use long press, use move. There's a good number of actions here. We have the use the bounds, use element size, use iDrop. Personally, I'm building a project with SpellUI very very soon, so you guys should stay tuned for that because of it's just too awesome not to work with. We have the component parts. So we have the layouts, app shell, aspect ratio, container, center, flex, grid, group, media query, simple grid, space, stack. You have the inputs and actions. You have the button, the checkbox, the chip, the input, the input wrapper, JSON input, and there's just a lot that we can't even just keep on going. The seventh one that we'll be taking a look at is called Skeleton UI. It's probably the most matured one on this list. Skeleton UI allows you to create adaptive and accessible interface for web apps of any shape or size. Click on the Get Started button, and we have to say it probably has the coolest web page of all on this list as well. So, the Get Started page. Now we have these docs aspects. As you can see, it shows you how to add themes, so on and so forth. We have the coloring, we have the styling, the design tokens, the variants, transitions. We have the tailwind specific components. We have the alert, we have the badge, we have the breadcrumbs, the button, the cards, and now we have the felt specific components. Now we have accordions, we have app bar, we have app reels, we have app shell, we have autocomplete, we have avatar, lots and lots and lots of components here. We still have utilities, yes, we have utilities, we have drawer, we have light switch, we have modals, we have pop-up, we have toast, we have table of content as well. Let's move on. Attraction. Now, attraction, I also found this out just yesterday. I haven't seen or used this one before, but I checked it out and I just have to say it's super cool. So we have the first component we are seeing here is the button. As you can see, it's very easy to just create the button field, and we have this button outline, we have this button, and the usual button, and we have this button. So click on the components part, and we see we have a lot of components here. Starting from the accordion, we have the autocomplete, we have the badge. So this is the autocomplete right here. So when I click here, type three characters to search. Let's test this out. Let's say mm, nice, nice, very nice. Click on that. Wow, that's extremely nice. So we have a lot more components here. We have date pickers, we have dialogue, we have dot, we have drop down, we have file input, we have form fields, we have a lot here. So if you really need a component library that has has a lot and was built with SAS, then you should definitely check out Attraction. And we're moving on to Headless UI now. Svelte Headless UI is a complete port of the StWUI component library. So if you know the StWUI component library was built by Tailwind CSS Labs, and it's just a very nice StWUI for the most basics of components that you will need. So Svelte SUI is a part of that. As you can see, it doesn't really have a lot. We have very few, very minimal, but it's just the bare minimums that takes some time to build. Like we don't have a button here because of, you can build a button by yourself, but we do have a dialog here. So as you can see, you can click on open dialog. It opens this. You can click away and it closes. We have the popover. We have the list box, the radio group, the switch, the tabs, and we also have transitions. Moving on, we have Svelte UX, which is just superb. This is also one of the best, also one of my favorite component library for Svelte. We have a lot of things here. It's built with Tailwind CSS as well. And I believe one thing you will have noticed in this video is that a lot of these components are built with Tailwind CSS, which is just great because a lot of us build our apps with Tailwind CSS every day. And we just love to see that a lot of these components are built with Tailwind CSS as well. Now, taking a look at the components, we have the app bar, the app layout, the app nav item, we have the themes, the elements, we have avatar, we have buttons, we have button groups, we have cards, we have icons, input, we have a lot of input components, navigation, we have a lot, layout, we have a lot, modals, we have a lot, feedback, dates, we have a lot, states, we have a lot, motion as well, we have a lot, we have effects. Let's take a look at the effects part because of oh damn! Look at that. The muffin text. Look at that. It's so nice. It feels so exactly. It feels so satisfying. We have the muffin emoji as well. Oh man, that just feels crazy. Let's take a look at the shine effect. So if you need anything like this, you know where to find it. Oh man, as I move my arrow, it just dang. That feels extremely nice. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's just that feels extremely satisfying. But moving on, we have actions as well, multiple actions. We have stores, multiple stores. We have utilities as well. This is just a complete UI library for building your applications, and they give you these cool things. Like look at that, feels extremely great. Definitely have to check out Svelte UX if you are looking for a great component library to build your applications. Now moving on to probably the most underestimated on this list called StWUI is also a component library built with Svelte and Tailwind CSS. Now it has a bunch of components for you to build with, but the reason why I say it's probably the most underestimated because it's probably the most unused one. I've used it a couple of times to build a couple of things, and I have only one thing to say about it, and that it's super great to building your components with. So we'll take a look at the alert component. So as you can see, all we have to do is just import alert from StWUI, and bam, we have this. We can easily just use this. We have with description, we can put a description there. With actions, we can put actions right there. Notification sync, and we also have the API in these sections. As you can see, we have more and more and more components. We have the button group, the card, the carousel, checkbox, chips, currency, date picker, divider, drawer, drop down, empty. We have feed, we have the file picker, we have icon, we have input, we have input number. There's a lot and a lot of stuff. Now, we'll be moving on to Daisy UI. Now, Daisy UI isn't built specifically for Svelte, but it's built on Tailwind CSS. And for any app using Tailwind CSS, you can use Daisy UI. Now, let's click on C components here. As you can see, beautiful transitions. And right here, we have a bunch of components. Actually, we have 55 components. We have the breadcrumbs, we have the button, the card, the button navigation, the badge, the avatar, carousel, chatbot, checkbox, countdown, collapsible, div, drop down, drawer, divider, file input, footer, arrow, join, text input indicator. We have some more components here. So like I've used this UI a bunch of time and I don't have anything other than good things to say about them. If you want a component library that is just it feels so natural, unlike other component libraries where you have to build by importing things. That's not really the way it works with Daisy UI. So let's take a look at the HTML. As you can see, all we have to do is just add the class of btn and we have this button here. So we don't have to import things or do any of those other stuff. It just feels a lot better working with this UI if you are using Tailwind CSS in the first place. So if you're using Tailwind CSS, definitely you need to check out this UI because of it's built for Tailwind CSS and you will just love it. Moving on, we have stdf, mobile web component library based on Svelte and Tailwind. Now, this is probably the most exciting one on this list because it's built for the mobile web. Now, let's take a look at something. We'll take a look at this button sheet because I feel like this one is a great example showing you what I mean by it's built for mobile. Now, let's click on the basic usage. As you can see, that slide up feels extremely nice. And now the nice thing about this is because I can move this up and down. As you can see, I can basically control this with my mouse or my fingers if this was on mobile. So look at that. Feels extremely nice. I can click on this to remove that. You can see I have more examples of this bottom sheet demo. We have more components here. We have the index bar, the page, the pagination, steps, tab bar. We have tabs. Let's take a look at the tabs. Click on the tabs there. It loads up the example. As you can see, look at that animation. Look at that. This feels really, really nice, and it's built to mimic the way the web, the mobile apps work. So that's why we have these nice transitions. Look at that. Feels extremely clean. A bit too clean if you ask me. It's just really clean. As you can see, multiple more components for you to choose from. It's almost endless. So definitely check out this component library if you are looking to build mobile friendly web applications. Moving on, we have Carbon component for Svelte. Now, Carbon component Svelte is a Svelte component library that implements the Carbon design system and Open design system by IBM. So you can see of ways to install it. Definitely go with PNPM. You have the styling, shows you the styling, dynamic theming, portfolios, and we have a bunch of components run down here. As you can see, I have tools notification. As you can see, tools notification right here. You can cancel it. Full width, slotable titles, subtitles, and caption, accessible icon descriptions, so on and so forth. We have a lot of things on this list that if I decide to go to each of them one by one, we probably won't be able to end this video anytime soon. So this one actually, as I said from the beginning, implements the Carbon design system and Open design system by IBM. Now, the Carbon design system is not the most known design system in the dev world. It probably isn't as known as the next one I'm going to show you on this list, which is Svelte Material UI. Svelte Material UI, similar to Carbon Component Svelte, implements the Material UI design system in its creation of its components. So let's take a look at the button component. Now, if this looks very similar, it's because of you've probably used Material UI, which is MUI from React, which also implements the Material design system from Google as well. So if you want something similar to that, you have Svelte Material UI. So we also have the button, we have the raised, the unelevated, the outline, and we have so more. We have the ones with the icons, we have the ones that are links. Let's take a look at more components. We have the data table. Click on this, you can see, wow, do pretend loading, sticky header, row selection, so I can select pagination, so I have pagination right here, sortables as well. So Moving on, begin to look at agnostic UI. So we're going to be focusing on the svelte part and only the svelte part. So as you can see, we just import the CSS and then we import button from agnostic UI svelte, and we can use the button right there. We can change the mode to primary to give us the primary button. Now let's click on the get started now, and we are brought to this page. As you can see, we have the get started for all the components, for all the frameworks that we might be using. We have React, Vue 3, Angular, Svelte, and platform HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Scroll down to the framework components part. Let's take a look at the take a look at the button. Let's take a look at the dialog. So this is the dialog component. As you can see, examples. Let's just click on this button to see the way the dialog looks and works. Nice, nice, very nice transition. I like that. But as you can see, we have lots and lots of components here as well. We have the pagination, we have the progress, we have the select, we have the spinner, the switch, the table, the tabs, the tags, the tools, the tooltips. A lot. Now moving on, we're going to be looking at spacebar. I always get that pronunciation wrong. Now spacebar is very very unique because it was built with paper CSS, but for Svelte. Now let's take a look at all of the components that it gives you. So if you want that paper CSS looks and feel, you have it right here. Not really my style, but if you are crazy like that, then definitely they got you. They definitely got you. We have the alerts. As you can see, the alerts looking very paperish. You can cancel the dismissible, so you can dismiss it. We have the articles. We have the badges. You can see notification. We have the rank. Oops, oops, gone. We have the modal. Let's take a look at the modal. Click on this, and we have this modal. Here is the modal content. And close, and I can click outside. Nope, click outside doesn't work, but the icon definitely close it, and the close button as well. So if you want this look and feel in your application, paper got you covered. So with all that said, I hope I've been able to convince you to not be scared or weary when it comes to building your web applications with Svelte or SvelteKit. The ecosystem is growing and growing every day. We have more component libraries than the ones I've shown on this video, and more are coming out every single day. Definitely check out the Svelte Discord, which link I'll be putting in the description below. Join the Discord and you stay up to date with everything that happens around the Svelte ecosystem. So thank you very much. I remain Lawala Debola Fawaz, and I'll see you on the next video.